Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to a very warm and sunny Wednesday in Hampshire, in England. A little bit too warm for me, but I'm British, so we're allowed to complain about the weather. It's a pastime. All we ever do is complain about the weather. If it's raining too much, and if it's sunny, it's too hot. Yeah, can't win. Anyway, beautiful sunny day here. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Witchy Wednesday. As always, if you are watching, do pop a hello in the comments so that I can be polite and say hello and do that whole thing. Solstice we're talking about today. It's Solstice Magic today because it's nearly upon us. Good morning, Karen. Too hot today. Had to take my dog out very early. Yeah, we haven't taken Eric out yet. It's too warm for him. Way too warm for him. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Serenibor. Good morning, Claire. Hello. Can you tell I'm sitting in the office today? Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Janet. It's a little bit too hot and sunny to be sitting out in the kitchen today, so I am in the office. Good morning, welcome everyone. Yep, going to talk about the solstice today. Solstice magic. And as you probably know, I like working with sun magic anyway, but the solstice brings a magic of its own. So we'll chat about that today. Good morning, little Miss Nemo. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Caroline. Good morning, Andrea. Love the new hairstyle. Thank you. Yes, it's all gone. All gone. All that long hair, it's gone. Liberating.
Could have given it to me.
I could have donated it to you. Could have had it woven into a nice little rug for you. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Sasha. Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Karen from very hot Kent. Yes. Good morning, Leslie Ann. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Not long now. Pagan Tribal Gathering. Such a fantastic festival. Looking forward to it. Bonjour, Cornelia. Bonjour. Good morning, Kerry.
Yeah, I was in France.
Did you think you were in France? Yeah, don't take the pig. Good morning, Angela from France. Another bonjour. My French is good.
Yes,
good enough to order from menus and buy things in shops. Yeah, it's very, very schoolbook. I do have quite a few books that are being translated into French, actually. 3-4 of my books, I think, being translated into French. Very exciting. Good morning, Emma. So hot lately. Yeah, it's I don't really do the heat, I must admit. Good morning, Gillian. Kerry, 1 week left. Yes, it's come around fast, actually, isn't it? There's the link there. I think there are literally a handful of tickets left if anyone's interested. The link's in the comments. It is a fantastic festival and we are really looking forward to it. So, with the sun out, with the solstice on its way, subject today, how do you celebrate the solstice? Do you celebrate the solstice? Not everyone does. If you do, how do you do so? Do you do group things? Do you do solitary things? Do you work particular kind of magic on the solstice? Do you get up silly early and watch the sunrise? We were invited to lead a solstice sunrise actually at Kiwi Country Park, but we couldn't do it this year.
You didn't want to get up at 2 a.m, that's what it was.
Well, there is that too, but no, it clashed with Pagan Tribal, so... Oh, hang on, Eric's back. Yeah, then. Go on then. Where'd you go? Come on then. There we are. Let's get the Eric cam up. Look, there he is. Good morning. I don't know why, but you want a blanket. I don't know why you want a blanket. You all right there? Yeah? Have you been hunting flies? Have you? He likes to go and sit in the sun, but it's a little bit too hot, isn't it? So you have to keep coming indoors, don't you? Hey? You're a good boy. He does like sunbathing.
You can tell by his tan, can't you?
Yeah, by his tan. Yeah, he's very tan. Right. Janet, it's freezing here. Oh, no. Good morning, T. Heather says, good morning, handsome boy.
She's
Yeah,
talking to me.
Was she talking to you, was she?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is why I generally do this from the kitchen.
What are you trying to say?
Janet says, good morning too. Here we are, Karen. I go and watch the sunrise at the solstice, and if I can, sunset as well. Nice. It is all about that, isn't it? It is about those liminal times, the sunrise, sunset on the solstice, because it's all about the sun, really, isn't it? So that's what it's all about. So no, I don't generally get up silly early and watch the sun, although we have been sleeping with the blinds open so that the sun comes in first thing in the morning, which is quite nice. So what kind of magic do you work? Do you do anything particular? There's a folk tradition that all of your herbs should be gathered in on the morning of the solstice. I always thought that was a bit of a weird one, because different herbs mature at different times and different plants flower at different times, and you don't want to be sort of collecting stuff when it's not the right time. But solstice, apparently herbs collected at solstice have a special magic to them. So if you do pick your herbs and plants on solstice, remember to label that they are solstice ones. It gives them a little bit of extra boost. Oh, bless you. Sorry to hear that, Karen. Good morning, Jackie. So yes, solstice magic, all about sunshine. Back in the day, that reminds me, best solstice ever. What was the best solstice you ever celebrated? What did you do, and why was it the best one? Back in the day, when I was a young farmer, Petersfield Young Farmers, we used to have midsummer balls, and I didn't turn my phone off. It's my bingly bingly beat from Terry Pratchett. Anyway, back in the day, Petersfield Young Farmers, we used to have midsummer balls. So the ball would be in a great big barn somewhere, live band, music, everything, drinks, obviously. We'd all wear ball gowns and their evening wear, and have the ball in the evening, and it would literally go on all night. And then about 4 o'clock in the morning, the wagon would turn up with the bacon sandwiches. Those were good solstices. That's the way to celebrate a solstice. But how do you do it? And what have you found the best way to do it is? Yeah, Emma, I am a little bit with you, I must admit. In my case, if I'm up, then yay. If not, my bed was too comfy to leave. Yeah. Good evening, Sephora, from the wintry solstice. Yeah, flip side. For those of you that have noticed, the Kitchen Witch are not doing a summer solstice online ritual at the moment. We have posted a link on the Kitchen Witch group to a replay of last year's. We're not doing rituals for a couple of months or so. We're having a bit of a break. We're going to come back in the autumn with a different ritual setup that covers everyone, no matter where you are in the world. So it won't matter if you're in New Zealand or in England, it doesn't matter. So watch out for those. They're coming in the autumn. Jane, we didn't know you was a farmer. Did you like my accent there? When I was very, very young, in my late teens, I left home to live with a pig farmer. Like you do. But I was in Petersfield Young Farmers for quite a number of years, actually. Great fun. Yes, I lived on a pig farm. It was amazing. Little cottage in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Brilliant for parties. No one complained. Jackie looked like Quasimodo. Oh no, been bitten by something and my face is swollen up and looks hideous. No, hiding indoors. So whacked out on various medications and watching you from the comfort of bed. Oh, I hope that. Oh, not nice at all, Jackie. Sending you positive healing energy. Absolutely. Hi, Eve. Sephora, haircut or hair tied back, being nosy. Okay, yesterday the hair got a massive chop. This is the longest part of it. I had a huge haircut to take off all the bleached, the damaged, the old coloured hair. so that I can embrace my natural greys. So yeah, this is the longest bit. It is very short at the back. I have been bobbed. So this is it, not tied back. This is as long as it gets. It is so liberating.
I find the same thing.
You find the same, yeah?
I do that with my fringe.
Your fringe?
Yeah.
His fringe is up. Little Miss Nemo. Greeting the summer sunrise doesn't seem to suit either having a young child, no, or being a somewhat mature, grumpy old so-and-so. I'm with you on that one too. So sunrise greeting is confined to winter solstice. I actually think summer solstice is perhaps nice to do the sunset, like Karen suggested earlier. To do the sunset's nice. Sasha, best solstice was many years ago, sitting in the centre of Stonehenge stones, watching the sunrise with friends. Lovely memories. Fantastic. I have been to Stonehenge on many occasions. I have been very honoured to have been allowed into the centre of Stonehenge with various groves and to do rituals. I was initiated at Stonehenge as well, which was amazing. Nice experience, but if you go on the solstice, they open it up to everyone. And the idea of all those people is a little bit to me, really. How did you find that, Sasha? Were there too many people? Were they all there for the right reason is probably my question. Because a lot of people seem to go there just to have a booze up. But definitely an experience for sure. Thank you, Sephora. Funky. Yeah, you like funky. Jackie, your hair looks great. I've had a buzz cut. Excellent. Go for it. I've had one of those too back in the day. So much easier. Good morning, Debbie. Leslie Ann, my best solstice was on the Isle of Sandy in Orkney. Oh, that sounds amazing. The wind died down at 9 p.m. A rainbow appeared at midnight. It got dark for maybe an hour or two so we could see our bonfire on the beach, and the sea was mild as a swimming pool, reflecting azure sky. That sounds absolutely amazing, Leslie. Absolutely amazing. Sephora, the best thing I saw was watching Stonehenge sunrise with mead in hand in front of a fire. It's always good to have a mead in your hand. If you can't get to Stonehenge, they are streaming it live, the sunrise. So have a look. Make sure you go to the English Heritage site, Facebook site. They are streaming it live. It is free. If you see any sites offering it and you have to pay, then you're on the wrong site. Make sure you go to the English Heritage site. Karen, I try to stay up or get up for the sunrise. Don't always manage it, but the intention is there. Intention's the important part. Little Miss Nemo, I like the idea of doing a summer sunset. Must remember actually to do something for it. Brother-in-law's birthday, so one or other gets eclipsed. For me, the idea of the sunrise and the sunset on solstice, if you are around for that, what you can do is the night before work a sunset spell to release things, and on the sunrise do a spell to bring the good stuff in. That works on any sunset or sunrise, really, but it would be extra special on the solstice. Yeah, I'm with you, Debbie. That solstice at Stonehenge, too many humans. I think it would be quite. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, no early start for you today, Sephora, because Sephora's in New Zealand, so it's evening over there. A midnight rainbow does sound magic, doesn't it? Yeah, Debbie. Solitude sunrise. I like that bit of alliteration there. I like that. So there's particular types of magic that you can work on the summer solstice. It kind of lends itself to specific intentions. It is, of course, a very fairy world connected time. If you are going to open yourself up to the world of fairy, do your research first. The Victorians brought in the idea of fluffy, floaty, glittery fairies. Look to old ancient folklore for the real fairy stories. So if you are going to open yourself up to fairies, do your research first. But the solstice is supposedly when the portal to the fairy world is at its widest, thinnest, however you want to describe it. It is a time of fairy, although I think a huge amount of that probably has to do with Shakespeare. But there you go. He's a bit of a dude anyway. Summer solstice, really good for communication spell working. If you need to open up lines of communication with anyone, really good for working magic for that. Also very good for spells about intuition. It's a liminal time, so it is good for that kind of thing. Inspiration, because it got that big pack of solar power behind it, so really good for inspiration. And creativity solar magic brings all of that. I think it's also, for me, the solstice is a bit of a reset, so it's a good time for movement, for transformation. If you want to make any big changes, like having all your hair go off, now's the time to do it. It is a really good kind of liminal time for making changes, making transformations, moving things forward. Also very good time for manifesting and reaching your goals. So if you want to put anything in action, use that solstice solar power to give it a good boost, give it a good kick to move it forward. It's also, interestingly, a good time for banishing things as well. So it's a good time for getting rid of stuff from out of your life. Zevora over there on the winter solstice, good time for personal renewal, meditation, balance, knowledge, truth, clarity. It's also a transitional time, also a good time for planning and putting into action long-term projects. So I think the solstice, winter and summer solstice, have very similar kind of, they are about transformation. They are about moving things forward. Definitely a special time of the year. I don't work particularly heavily with all of the Sabbaths, but I think that the summer solstice is quite a special one. Let's go. I've missed some. I'm going back up. Here we go. Sasha. The people at that Stonehenge solstice were definitely intense. I'm glad I had my friends with me. Thankfully, it was many years ago, so it wasn't as crazy busy as it is these days. Yeah, it does. I think it looks to be quite chaotic and twirly these days. Sephora, does the summer solstice involve fire, or is it a bit dodgy with the weather and dry? Yeah, I'm gonna. It's fire and weather at the moment where it hasn't. We haven't had. Well, I think we had one brief shower for about 20 seconds in the last month, really. So yeah, probably not good to be lighting fires at the moment. But it has got that. It has got that solar, that fiery solar magic to it, but not specifically on fire type of magic, in my opinion. Anyway, Jane, hard to appreciate sunrise now where I live because the council are building loads of flats. They are where we are too. Loads of new houses. Don't have much of a horizon anymore. I live on the edge of the city, Jane, so I have my view is of rooftops. I don't mind so much. It gives the birds a place to sit. If I look out of my windows, I can see rooftops with pigeons and got a couple of crows and a couple of magpies and lots of seagulls. I do like to see the seagulls. Emma, my best summer solstice I had was my first one as a solitary. It was my first summer ritual, which I found in one of my books. It resonated with me. Had a family feast also. It was fun. That sounds perfect. Debbie, fairies aren't fluffy at all. No, this is why I bring a warning. Do your research first. Dawny. Volunteering at Three Wishes Fairy Festival this weekend with Karen Kay. Lots of fairies there in human form. Yes, you will be overrun with fairies. Jackie, my best solstice was on our medicinal herb farm back in the day. Slept in the caravan whilst waiting, but not so much sleep as the energy from the nature spirits was astonishing. You could only watch and not enter. They were clear on it being their time to do their thing. After the solstice point, they let us onto the land and we harvested the St. John's wort, which traditionally flowers and is ready for harvest on that day. Yeah, I never felt or seen anything like it before or after. That sounds like an amazing experience. Fantastic. Good morning, Damien. Debbie, summer solstice for me is the turning point from light to dark. It's interesting, isn't it? And when I first started learning about the Sabbath, this did not make any sense to me at all. It's the summer solstice. It's midsummer. The sun is, shining. We're just starting our summer in England. We've got, June, July, August, the 3 hot summer months just starting. How can it be the start of the dark half of the year? But that is actually how it is. At the winter solstice, we welcome the return of the sun. So at the summer solstice, we're kind of saying goodbye. Summer solstice is the longest day and the shortest night. So the sun is at the height of its power. And obviously, we hope there's a lot more days of summer to follow. But it is the point where the year starts to wane. Solstice actually means stand still. So it is when the sun stops, and from going forward, the days will get shorter, the nights will get longer. So I know it seems weird that in all this heat and sunshine, we are welcoming the dark half of the year, but that's how it goes. If you follow the Wiccan pathway, of course, you have the Holly and Oak King battles. Summer solstice sees the Oak King and the Holly King battle. Holly King wins, because he reigns now from now until the winter solstice. And then they have another battle, and then Holly King wins. So, it's a bit weird, but that's how it goes. Caroline, a few years ago, we went to Avebury at 3 a.m. and waited. It was so cloudy, everyone was disappointed. Then as we walked away, I had my back to the sun. Something told me to turn around. As I did, the sun appeared in a cut-out groove of the perfect moment to treasure. Fabulous, fabulous. Good morning, Hannah. Summer solstice is the festival I feel least connected to. I feel it's very much a people festival, and I'm more solo. I think that does happen, doesn't it? I think perhaps with the whole Stonehenge thing, where lots of people get together. But I work with the summer solstice a lot, and I work with it on my own, but I work a lot with sun magic, so it kind of makes sense to me that summer solstice is one of my favorites to work with. It can be adjusted to work with on your own, but yeah, I totally get what you mean. Emma, we had a thunderstorm a few days ago. It was so good. We had about 20 seconds of rain, and that was it. Sephora, would there be something dragony for solstice with the solar heat light? It feels like it would be time they'd be very present. It is a liminal time. So it is a time when, the doorways, the portals to other realms are open. So yeah, absolutely. My main dragon is a fire dragon, so this is a perfect time for him. But it does depend on what type of dragon you work with. But yeah, absolutely. Angela, best solstice for me, 2007 on Dragon Hill in front of Uffington White Horse. Seen that many times. Amazing thing. Watched the sunset, beautiful ritual, stayed up on the hill chatting and planned our future year, then watched the sunrise. That also sounds perfect. Also my first solstice in a coven. Brilliant. Karen, my St. John's wort hasn't flowered yet this year, very late. Things have been later this year. We've noticed that things have been. Yeah, Jackie says the same. Everything's behind due to the cold spring, but it is catching up. Watching ours in the garden, see if it will flower at the right time. It's got a few days yet. Little Miss Nemo, promised my daughter, 7 years old, I'd take a photo of the night sky on the solstice so she could see how light it is when Mummy and Daddy go to bed. That's one of my lasting memories, I guess, of being a child. I'm sorry, are we boring you? Is going to bed when it's still light outside. Yeah, because you did, didn't you, when you were a kid? You went to bed when it's... In fact, I still do it as an adult now. Still light outside. That's part of the summer, isn't it? Part of the summer. I think with the solstice, as it is a standstill point, that it is a good time to just stop and take a breath. Just breathe. Right, let's take stock. Let's have a look at see what we're doing going forward. Have a look at seeing what you've been doing and whether it worked or not. Get rid of the stuff that didn't. Celebrate your achievements thus far. Acknowledge your failures, but make sense of it all. Kind of do a bit of a stock take and overview, and learn from what you've done so far. Oh, we're going out for the next bit of sunbathing. Yeah, it is a kind of take stock moment for me, where you just have a think, did that work? What have we done so far? What can we do to change it going forward? Definitely feels like that time of the year, and it's a good time for that. But I think it's also a good time to count your blessings. The sun's shining, the plants are growing, everything, Mother Nature is doing her thing. So it's definitely a celebratory time. Pass that goodwill forward as well, obviously. I think, yeah, it's a special time. There's definitely something very magical about it. But I don't tend to do anything grand. I have done in the past, but not so much now. To me, it is about being in the moment. So it is about enjoying that solar magic. It is about enjoying that sunshine. And I think for me, that's probably the first activity. If you want to do something to celebrate, get out in the sunshine. Make sure you wear suntan lotion and a hat, obviously.
Yes, Mum.
Because it fades the tattoos. Just find a quiet spot outside, sit, meditate, focus on the darkness and the light. Not just within the world, because there's some freaky old stuff happening in the world, as always, but within as well. It is about taking a pause, taking a moment to evaluate things. You could go swimming at the beach. If you don't want to go to the beach, fill up a paddling pool with water in your garden. Failing that, get the garden hose out. There's always options. Put your feet in a bucket of water. Have a bonfire or light your fire pit or your chimney or whatever you've got. Have a barbecue. It's very solar magic on the barbecue. You can work all sorts of spell work with barbecues. Sit around the fire. Tell stories, listen to music, kind of spend some family time sharing memories and things with each other. If you do have a bonfire or light a chimney or a fire pit, collect the ashes once they've gone cold. They can be used in spell work. Make sure you collect them, jar them, label them, solstice ashes. But they work really well for protection magic. They carry all of the energy of sun magic, of the solstice magic, and they can be used to sprinkle into pouches. They can be mixed with clay to make a talisman. They can be put into witch bottles for protection. Ashes, very, very good, particularly if you've got on any of the Sabbaths, if you have a fire on any of the Sabbaths, collect the ashes and label them, because they'll carry not only that fiery element magic to them, but they'll carry the energy of the solstice or the Sabbath as well. Even just sprinkle them on the soil to add a bit of boost to your garden. So ashes work very well for magical purpose. Also a good time, I think, the solstice, to reaffirm your dedication to your pathway or your chosen tradition. So quite a nice time to initiate or reinitiate or just rededicate yourself to a deity, to whatever pathway it is that you work. Just a little solitary ritual, quite nice. Keep it simple. I think the solstice lends itself to that quite a lot. Little Miss Nemo. 2003, I worked as co-musical director on youth theatre Product of the Dreaming, retelling of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Everyone check out the words of the number under the hill. Okay. Do you know, I would love to see an outside production of Midsummer Night's Dream. That's one of my things I'd like to do. Thank you. Midsummer, yeah. Shakespeare. Bit heavy going sometimes, but Midsummer Night's Dream, very entertaining. Sephora, time to harvest the garlic. So Nick, everything everything is growing in the garden at the moment. Yeah, you're beginning that point of the year where if you do grow fruit and veg, you're in for a treat. Emma says, hang on a moment, Peter, where's Rachel's coffee?
Oh, just going now. Apologise.
Leslie Ann, like to save a partially burned piece of wood and add it to the winter bonfire. Very nice. Nice idea. It depends whether you've got the space, but fire pits, very useful if you've got a small garden. I've got a chimney, so it keeps it all contained, but you can still work with fires in that way. Hello, are you back? Was it a bit warm out there? Was it a bit boing? But you're still going to complain if I don't put a blanket on you, aren't you? Let's just put it across there. So there are various symbols if you like working with symbols for the solstice. Obviously the sun, sun wheels, quite interesting to work with on the solstice. Sunflowers, although they're not flowering yet, which I think is quite a weird thing to associate, but because it's like the sun, bit early for sunflowers yet. I think flowers of any sort this time of the year, because they're all flowering in the garden. Oak trees, very symbolic for the solstice. Sickles, because at some point you will be harvesting your herbs. Circles as well, I think, because the solstice is all about the solar cycle. But I tend to work with the sun wheel, which is a circle with an equal arm cross inside it. Quite an ancient symbol, but to me that kind of sums up solar magic and the solstice. And the garden is blooming at the moment. The hanging baskets, the pots of summer flowers, the herbs of all kinds. Remember to keep deadheading your flowers, because this will encourage new ones. Some of the flowers, when I deadhead, I do keep them. So roses, now as I deadhead them, I'll keep the petals and I dry the petals. I use them in incense and all sorts of magical workings. But there's all sorts in flower at the moment. Oh, we're on a fly hunt now. St. John's wort, Jackie mentioned, that's definitely a solstice type of flower. Chamomile, although mine hasn't flowered yet. Honeysuckle, oak, lavender, ivy, yarrow, elder, thyme. Carnations, mine have been flowering for a few weeks now. Mugwort, fennel, ginger, lemon, basil, all solstice type herbs. If you're looking at fruits, let's see, fresh fruit, any fresh fruit and vegetables. Honey, I think, kind of lends itself to the summer solstice. It's got that colour, it's got the connection with the bees. It's just perfect for me for summer solstice. Citrus fruits, lemons, oranges. Then you've got all the summer squashes, mead, obviously. And any of the kind of lemonade type, cold, chilled Pimm's type drinks. Colours, yellow, gold, green, blue, orange, white, red, all the colours of the rainbow. The summer solstice is all about colour. It's all about the earth blooming and providing. It is a celebration, definitely a celebration. Damien, this time last year I created a servitor to find my sister whom I've never met. Monday I met her for the first time. Amazing. So I'll be doing some solar magic today, giving thanks and putting the servitor to rest. Fantastic. Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, he has this bizarre way of just springing into the beanbag from a standing point. Yeah, he's best. Debbie, we always keep a piece of charcoal from our Beltane campfire to add to the Lammas fire when it's lit. Fire, it's got that magic, hasn't it? It's got that transformation, that motivation, that creativity kind of magic. And whilst I don't associate solstice with fire as such, it's got that solar magic. So yeah, that works perfectly. Jane, our sage is flowering the first time in years. Smells lovely. Now, I lost my sage. I had quite a big sage. I lost it last year in the winter. But walking up to her favourite cafe, as we do quite often, there's a road just opposite. One of the gardens there has a sage bush, and it is taller than Pete. So it's all look off.
Oh, look!
You know, you can see your legs in the other camera.
Oh, yeah. That's my Willie.
He has got He has got shorts on.
Just in case you thought it was something.
There is a sage bush growing in the front garden of one of the houses, and it is over 6 feet high, and it has great big stalks of flowers on. I've never seen sage flowers that enormous.
Is that the really smelly one?
It is. No, that was the mock orange, wasn't it?
Oh,
that
right,
was the
yeah.
Philadelphus. Yeah. No, it does look very, very impressive. Little Miss Nemo, have a young holly and some oak saplings. Might put them together in a sunny spot. And yeah, good bedfellows or argumentative bedfellows, depending on how you look at it. We have our next door neighbours have a big holly tree, and it grows over the top of their fence. It's quite nice. But the leaves fall off and they make Eric yelp if he steps on them. So we have to make sure we pick them up. Angela, we had a solstice barbecue planned just for the two of us, but we are forecast heavy rain for several days, 19th to 22nd. So plans will have to be altered slightly. Do hope there's thunderstorms. Have an indoor barbecue. We have those quite a lot because we don't barbecue. We let Pete barbecue once. We won't let him barbecue again.
No.
So we have indoor barbecues where I just do it in the grill. Hi, Trudy. Angela, elderflower cordial and tonic water. Very nice. Lovely combination of sweet and sourish and a beautiful pale yellow colour. I can recommend elderflower cake too. That's nice. Mitch, we have a massive lavender bush taking over the front door. We can't get in the door. Is it easy to separate and repot? Not so easy to separate because tend to be on one woody stalk. I don't have a lot of luck with lavender. It does not like our soil. We have heavy clay soil and it really doesn't like it. It likes light, sandy, well-drained soil. It is, like the herbs, think Mediterranean kind of temperatures and conditions. I've never separated one, but yeah, I'm not sure about that because it does tend to be from that one particular stalk. You should be able to take cuttings from it though. Have a look on the RHS website because they're always really helpful. Unless anyone else here has any experience with lavender, pop it. Heather says, woohoo, naked leg. Yeah, Karen says legs. Yeah, he has got shorts on, I can assure you. Debbie, I'm weaving a hand fasting cord with the solstice colours of Lammas. Fantastic. Oh, quite a traditional time for hand fastings too at the summer solstice. I know Eric is the most undog-like dog I have ever met. Bless him. Lovely pair of legs. Debbie lost sage too. I lost quite a few herbs over winter this life. First time it's ever happened. I lost quite a few. Jane says, good time to make a witchy punch with pink wine, sparkling spring water, sweet woodruff. Yes, sweet woodruff and borage. Very nice. I put the borage flowers in as well because they're so pretty. Sliced strawberries and lemons, borage flowers floating on top. Yeah, perfect. Burn some frankincense oil near the bowl and everyone who drinks it will fall in love with each other. You're into Rome. You're into the episode of Grimm where everyone falls in it. Yes. If you've not watched Grimm, you won't know what we're talking about, but that was a good episode. I was more thinking about a Roman festival, really. One of the good old Roman festivals where everyone gets a bit raucous. Sounds like fun, Jane. Let me know. Let me know when it is. They are. I knew Jackie would know. Easy to take cuttings. Yes, lavender cuttings. And Sephora, take cuttings, gently trim back bit by bit. Don't do anything too drastic or it will sulk. And yeah, they are quite temperamental, bless them. Love elderflower. Made elderflower champagne once. Interesting, different. Now I have got an elder bush in the garden. Heather gave me an elder sapling from her mother elder. It had 2 flowers on this year, so probably not enough to make elderflower cordial, but it is looking quite happy, so fingers crossed. Jane, lavender, easy to grow from cuttings. Yeah, I think we're going the cutting route for you. Pulling lots of heels off, potting around the edge of a terracotta pot in very gritty, poor soil. Carol Clean makes a great job of it. She's good. We like her. Yes, so cuttings is the way to go for lavender. Debbie loves Grim. Yeah, one of the best programs ever. Hello. You right? Pink punch. What a nice recipe. Fancy making that? Yeah, definitely. Give it a go. You right there? Yeah. All right, Sephora, quick question re an elderflower bush. I need to prune back. It's getting a bit rampant. Any advice on how not to make elder mother mad? Yeah, you don't want to upset the elder mother. She can be wicked evil. Now, all plants have spirits. All plants have spirits within them. And whenever you are cutting, trimming, pruning, deadheading, talk to the plant first. Ask for permission. Tell it what you're doing, and then hopefully it doesn't sulk. The elder mother is very special. Heather, you might be able to answer that one better than me. My elder is a little bit of a baby one at the minute, and I've not grown one before, so I don't know the answer to that one. If anyone's got any advice for Sephora, pop it in the comments and we'll put it up there. Jane, forgot to mention the witchy punch makes everyone forget their grievances. Nice. Oh, love to work magic with food. It's good. What's the matter now? Yeah. Apparently the bed needed poofing up.
Poofing?
Yeah. Debbie, you'll have to ask the elder mother. She needs a haircut. Yes, you do need to talk to her. Jackie, I use a Ziploc bag to put over the cuttings and it zips up around the flower pot and helps make a great tent to keep things moist whilst cuttings root. Also, some rooting powder or gel helps. Thank you, Jackie. Very good advice. Heather, I talked to mine, explain I need to trim her back to keep her looking beautiful, and she shows which bits she wants taken off. There you go. I think it is with any of these plants, isn't it? It's about making that connection with the spirit. Let them know what you're doing. They'll often guide you as well. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, Mitch, you're going to have to take cuttings. Let us know how you get on. But yeah, lavender, it just doesn't like my soil. Karen, I speak to my elder and tell it that I'm going to have to prune her and give her half an hour to pull the sap back. Bit of a warning. Like it. Jane, our elder tree was overgrown and weighed down with black flies, so we had it lollipopped. I do like that description. No flowers last year, of course, but millions this year. I think that's also worth bearing in mind as well, isn't it? Sometimes you can be a bit nervous about chopping a plant, or as Pete does, hacking it to cut it back. It can be quite scary, but generally, if you do it at the right time of the year, it will be a rejuvenation for them, much like us, really. Although lopping bits off is, no. I'm talking about hair, not limbs. It can be very rejuvenating. So, yeah, some plants benefit from it. And there are lots of plants that will only flower on new growth as well. So whatever plant you've got, do your research for it. It's well worth looking at research. RHS website is really, really helpful. Just to have a look and see what your plant needs and when the best times are to do it as well. Dulala, I think I upset one of my elders a couple of weeks ago. I was going to collect some more flowers for cordial, and as I was reaching for the last flower head, something very sharp went through my crock and into my foot. I really felt I had upset her, gutted. Now, there is a comment there that says it's because you're wearing Crocs. I am teasing. A little bit. It's the elder mother she is a spirit to be reckoned with. That's for sure. Absolutely. She is definitely one to reckon with. He is sleeping. He's not passed out or anything. Plants is, it is the time to be out in the garden, but we've only been going out in the evening because it's too hot during the day. So keep an eye on your plants. We've noticed quite a few, even though we check every night and water if they need it. Some of them do struggle in this heat. But yeah, lots of plants benefit from being trimmed or even quite hard pruned, but probably not this time of the year. Check the plant, have a look, and check what that plant. Crocs are never a wrong choice. I very rarely disagree with people because I'm very much of the opinion you do whatever you want to do, you wear whatever you want, but unless it's Crocs. You wear whatever you want to. The kids had Crocs actually when they were little because they were very good for when they walked out into the ocean when they were paddling and things. Teasing. Debbie, we had a beautiful elder growing in the lane behind us. It hung over our fence. The folks tending the wood seasonal campsite cut it down. I hope they asked first, because if they didn't, they were in trouble. Emma, our apple is going to produce loads of apples this year. Looking forward to them. Always gives us nice apples and some birds and the animals too. And nice for the blossom in this. Do you know, Crocs are amazing. Really? All these people are coming out of the closet as Croc lovers. No, you won't convince me. There is nothing that would convince me that Crocs are nice things. There's going to be a revolt now, isn't there? It's going to be a revolt. Those on the side of Crocs, those on the side of no Crocs. Yes, Leslie Ann, absolutely. I find that a lot when I am tending to the roses in the garden. There is quite often a little blood sacrifice that has to be taken. Yeah, absolutely. It happens. It does happen. But yeah, talk to the plant and make a connection with the spirit. Ask what it needs. Tell it what you're doing. And for the most part, we prune, we cut back for the health of the plant. So just make sure that the plant knows that that's what you're doing. We got one vote for Crocs. Crocs when it rains. No wet shoes to dry. Yeah, that's where boots come in handy. Definitely no Crocs here. Karen, you're my people. Jane, let's go off of Crocs. Let's get quickly. Apple Blossom. Who remembers Helena Rubinstein's Apple Blossom perfume? I don't know that one. That's made me think of Body Shop's White Musk. Used to wear that as a teenager. I don't know that one, Jane. Was it nice? Yes, assuming so, because you put Okay, yes, Little Miss Nemo. It's a bit like maple syrup with crispy bacon or Marmite. Well, maple syrup shouldn't be anywhere near breakfast unless it's pancakes. Although crispy bacon cooked in maple syrup, nice. Marmite's very love or hate. Yeah, we're on the love camp for Marmite. Caroline, love my purple Crocs, only wear them in the garden though. Okay, that's the only place I find acceptable, or on the beach in the sea. Bit squeaky. Janet, no Crocs. Are we keeping score here? Sephora, I remember that. Apple green shampoo. Yes, I remember that. I bet it'd never seen an apple in its entire life. Okay, yeah, you can't be stealthy in Crocs because they squeak. Actually, one of Pete's trainers squeaks when he walks. It's very loud. Little Miss Nemo grew up on Marmite. Pete loves Marmite. That's your favourite food in the whole world, isn't it? Toasted Marmite. end of the world feast, what would you have? Toast and Marmite.
Yeah.
A bit of Spam on the side?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Christine's Crocs forever. No, stop it. Let's get back to where we were supposed to be, unless you have Vegemite. Yes, it's Vegemite in Australia and New Zealand, isn't it?
Promite,
Yeah.
Promite. Yeah.
I think that's something else.
That's bromide.
So, summer solstice. There is lots of information on the Kitchen Witch blog about solstice rituals. So if you want to do one on your own, there's information there. There's also a recording of our summer solstice online one we did last year if you want to watch that and work along with that. But it is just Heather, stop it. Good morning, Gray. Toast and Marmite, yes, definitely very yum. Crocs or no, stop with the Crocs, okay? Stop with the votes for Crocs. Kitchen Witch Crocs. I'm not even gonna. Oh, Marmite and cucumber sandwiches. Now that sounds nice. Hot milk and Marmite. Ew. That's not right. Oh, Promite is only if there's a disaster and the Vegemite runs out.
Yeah,
there you go. No to Crocs, yes to maple syrup, no to bacon, yes to Marmite. We're going to have a poll, aren't we? Yeah, I'm with you too. Was that we're both no Crocs? You couldn't wear Crocs because your feet would slip out. And you'd also have to have two different sizes because your front feet are much bigger than your back feet. Yeah. Marmite and grated cheese. Yeah, I'll go for that. Anyway, Marmite. Don't forget to save your Marmite jars. The Marmite jar is shaped like a cauldron. In fact, Marmite is a French word for the actual pot, a casserole type pot. So the glass Marmite jars are shaped like cauldrons. Brilliant for making into witch bottles. Excellent for using for spell work. Because it's got that cauldron shape and it's also dark glass, so it's very useful. Just saying, keep your Marmite jars. You can buy doggy Crocs. I'm not even going there. How do they keep them on their feet? Stop it. Yeah, Jackie, you're right. Eric would eat them. He would eat them. Yes, I think you need ankles for Crocs. Yeah, blue tag. Stop it. Actually, if you do want to laugh, it's very cool. But if you want to laugh, do Google on YouTube dogs with shoes on, because they walk hysterically in them. It is very, very funny. Debbie keeps her Marmite jars. Yes, Marmite jars. Mitch is going to buy the Marmite jars, but don't like it. Marmite is basically a yeast, so it's actually really good to add to spells where you want things to rise or grow or improve, move forward. You can use a little teaspoon of Marmite to help that spell work grow. Gaffer tape for doggy shoes. Stop it. Yes, Marmite jar is very useful for working spells in. So anyway, back to the summer solstice. What are you lot like? So, lots of spell work that you can do, but kind of work it around the fire element, really. Transformation, manifesting, creativity. It's definitely got that kind of growth energy to it, because that's what the plants are doing, that's what the harvest is doing. For me, magic runs in sync with Mother Nature. So Mother Nature at the minute is knocking her socks off, or her Crocs off, to make things grow. She is producing abundance, she's producing wealth, she's producing the harvest. So if you tap into the solstice energy, then that's what you should be working your magic spells for. That is the time. This is the time of year to be working magic that falls in line with the energy of Mother Nature. Mitch, Dad loved Marmite. I found a book all about it. I have a Marmite recipe book. It is actually quite useful for using a stock to make stock with, particularly if you're working with a vegan recipe, because I think Marmite's vegan. Could be wrong. It's very low fat too, so instead of using a stock cube, you can use a spoonful of Marmite to make your stock. Is the actual solstice on the 20th or 21st this year? Do you know? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Summer solstice 2023. Wednesday, 21st of June, 3:57 p.m. is the actual solstice time, apparently. 15:57 BST. Yeah, there you go. So Wednesday, 21st. Good old Google. It is obviously, it varies by a day or two each year because it's all to do with the planets. It is one of the Sabbats that is on set on a specific date according to the planets each year. Oh, Marmite no longer gluten-free. Is it not? There you go. That's a bit rude. Before I have to waddle off, Crocs are evil. Marmite is scary, and the solstice is awesome. There you go. Sephora, because Sephora's in New Zealand, is the winter solstice, so it's yours. So you can have chocolate log. Absolutely. Karen, my lemon balm is looking great. Yes, my lemon balm self-seeded itself in the garden. So we lifted it up and put it in a pot because lemon balm is a thug if it's left in the garden. Lemon balm cookies are on the cards. Very nice. Makes a very nice tea too. Marmite makes a nice drink. Okay. Yes, Marmite. Sorry, if you don't know what Marmite is, it's a yeast extract. We spread it on toast generally, but it can be used to flavour all sorts of things. Hi, Leslie. Yes, Debbie, I always work with the planetary alignment for the solstice. Okay, so this is one of those Sabbats that is, hello, it's one of those Sabbats that is on a specific date according to the planets. However, I think, as with all of the Sabbats, there's a build-up to the energy and there's a run-off to the energy as well. I realised I haven't drunk my coffee that was made. So you can be celebrating the summer solstice for a couple of weeks up until that point and then tail off the energies afterwards. I think if you work it, there's 8 Sabbats in the year, if you work it over a period of time, 5 or 6 weeks, rather than on that specific date, each Sabbat runs into each other. So you can be working with the build-up of the energy to the summer solstice now, celebrate the summer solstice on the day, and then work with the waning energy of the summer solstice afterwards. And then it runs in. They all run into each other. For me, the Sabbat isn't about one particular day, although the solstice, slightly different, actually celebrating it. But there's an energy build up and there's an energy tail off, like the waxing and waning of the moon phases. So if you miss that one particular date on the calendar, don't worry, you can work with it as a period of time. Mother Nature doesn't read the calendar, so take your signs from her. But yes, the solstice is a little bit different for that. Oh, bed needs plumping up again. Go on then. Such a princess. Yes, Angela. Length of day on the 20th, 16 hours, 8 minutes. 21st, 16 hours, 8 minutes. 22nd, 16 hours, 7 minutes. It's all downhill from there. Lemon balm is a thug. Sephora says, good to rub on your ankles to keep the bugs from biting. Go. Sephora, are there any of the English gods and goddesses that turned up solstice-wise? Is it in the book? Oh, well, it would have to be Sulis and Balanus. Bellissima as well, actually, solar goddess. Sulis solar goddess, Bellissima, solar goddess, Belanus, solar god. Absolutely their time to shine. Marmite jars are cute. They are absolutely cauldron shaped. Janet's lemon balm is doing better. Yeah, it is good time of the year for lemon balm. Little Miss Nemo, you're working on the Wheel of the Year lesson. Excellent. I live in France now, and it doesn't get dark here until nearly 11 p.m. Amazing. That's Mother Nature for you. Yes, it is. So the word Marmite is French, and it means cauldron. So if you look on the label of a Marmite jar, there's actually a drawing of a little casserole dish, and that is actually the pot, the Marmite. I'm sure it's not pronounced quite like that. It is a large cooking pot. Marmite is traditionally sold in glass jars shaped like a miniature cauldron. It is, and they are dark too. It's a dark glass. Very magical jars. Worth buying just for the jar. Although we're witches, we like jars. We have stockpiles always. So whatever you are doing on the summer solstice, make it work for you. It has to be what fits in with your schedule, your time frame, whatever works for you. But celebrate the sun. It is absolutely a transformation, creativity, inspiration, manifesting type of energy. Marmite jars are secretive, yeah, because they're dark. I like it. So even if you just pop outside and say hello to the sun, tell it what you'd like, ask it for something, make an offering of something, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Celebrate. Leanne's more interested in Marmite than Crocs. Yeah, even though I clomp around in Crocs around the house every day. Yeah, I won't hold that against you. Zephora, watch the sun and grey hair. It makes it go yellow. Oh, okay. Now that I have a lot of grey hair, and you've got a few bits of blonde left, the rest is all grey. I like hats anyway, Zephora. Yeah, enjoy the sunshine, celebrate the solstice, celebrate the energy that the solstice brings. But if you are looking for inspiration, do have a look there's some sun magic posts on my blog. There's obviously some sun magic information in my sun magic book, but there's lots of information on the Kitchen Witch blog as well about solstice and rituals and bits and pieces. Oh, very, very, very good point. Quickly, Karen, did anyone collect any stormwater? Stormwater, brilliant. Don't forget to collect some solar water. Pop a jar of water out on the night before the solstice and let the solstice sun charge it, and then you will have solar water. You'll have solstice solar water, which carries the energy of the solstice and can be used for all sorts of magical things. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Say thank you. Yeah, good boy. Thank you for joining us, and we will. That's it. Eric knows we've finished. Enjoy the sunshine, and I will see you all here hopefully again next week. Take care, everyone.